Welcome to Action Coaching. Certainly, we thank God for you joining us for another exciting session of Action Coaching. Now, remember, the desire of Action Coaching is to coach the God-given ability in you, out of you, so that you can live your best life now. Everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs someone to help push them to the next level. So we're certainly excited about Action Coaching. Of course, we want you to hit share and likes and all of those things to let others know, or as even I saw on the social media, subscribe to Action Coaching so that you can be a part of all that God is doing. This week, I want to talk an interesting topic concerning business success. But I want to say, if you're going to have business success or success in general, this one topic I believe will help you, and it's called Sow Yourself. Let me say that again. Sow yourself. Now, there's a universal principle. Not only is it in the Bible, but it's a universal principle. It exists. Very few people take advantage of it, but then, however, there are some people that take advantage of it and they eventually experience the results. The universal principle says that if you sow a seed, there will be a harvest. But now let's go back. If you sow a seed, there will be a harvest. Now, there will not be a harvest if you don't sow the seed. And when I say sow the seed, you got to sow yourself. For instance, when I began the road that God had me to go down, I understood one thing is I had to put myself in the best position to either get the knowledge or get the results that will later bless me down the line. I'll give you an example. I never knew anything about television, never knew anything about cameras, none of the things that a person have to have in order to be on television. I mean, once you spent your life looking at the television screen and all of the shows and different things that take place, of course, you don't get into what has to go on behind the scenes for you and I to be able to enjoy the program. However, somebody told me that they had a tremendous television equipment show in Las Vegas during that time. And I decided that I would catch a plane. Now understand, I got the most budget ticket possible. Whatever it was, if I stopped 2 or 3 places to get to Las Vegas, then that was the ticket I got. And I was determined during that time I wasn't able to stay on the strip in Las Vegas. If any of you know about the Boulevard there in Las Vegas, I had and pretty much I stayed close enough so that I could walk to the convention center and be show. Now, while I was there, I had already sown myself by going to Las Vegas. And I went to Las Vegas, and I told you how I got there. And the first day I went to the television show. I mean, it was a convention center full of TV equipment, different things that a person would need to go on television. And there I am, didn't know the first thing about television. But I was looking, and I never forget it, at these Sony TV cameras. Not that I'm trying to push a commercial for Sony, but it is what it is. I was there looking at Sony's, and a guy walked up to me and he began to ask me, did I know anything about the Sony cameras and equipment? And I said no. But the bottom line was, he took time that whole week that I was there to show me how things work, how things exist, and what you need if you was thinking about going on television. And I wasn't even thinking about it at that particular time. I was just trying to see what it took. Bottom line, if I had not sown myself to go to Vegas, then I would have never reaped the harvest that I got when he began to teach and instruct me about television equipment. I'm saying this, that whatever business that you're starting or whatever you believe that God have called you to do, then you're going to have to sow yourself. When I say sow yourself, you're going to have to go to particular places to be in the atmosphere with people that are perhaps doing the same thing that you endeavor to do, and you never know that in places like that, your harvest will come forth. That the universal principle is that if you sow yourself, if you go looking, if you go investing, if you go learning, you will never know where God got your point of contact at. Because you think about it, even when you plant a seed, that seed is buried in the ground. And you don't even know what's happening to that seed because it's all covered up. Nobody knew that I was going to be ultimately what I turned into, because when I'm in seed form, I'm just buried in the ground. And of course, a lot of amazing things are happening before you become you, or any person. You don't know what it was like before they became the person that you now see and think they always been successful. Nobody always been successful. It's been a grind. It's been a hustle. It's been a whole lot of heartaches and pain before you get to the place that you desire to be, or as I like to say, before you reap the harvest. I was reading up one time on the seed. When it's planted in the ground, the first thing the seed does is it looks for where it can get water. You know, it's kind of like roots that grow in the tree. You ever cut down the tree and you find out the roots you see right there in the tree might go all the way across the road, up under through some cement, and it's drawing water from another place because it needs something to nurture it and allow it to grow. When you sow yourself, it's a universal principle. If you sow yourself, you're going to reap a harvest. Nobody in this world know everything. Now, I know some people think they know everything, but even if you know everything, there are some places and some people that you can meet that God done already set up that's going to determine your harvest. And if you don't sow yourself to that particular place, you never will reap the harvest. What am I saying? There's so many people in the world, they want the success, but they don't want to sow themselves. They want to be paid big money, but they don't want to put in the hard work first so that they will have a resume that demand they be paid a certain amount. They want to make $70,000, $80,000 a year and then hardly finish high school. Well, at least finish high school and have the diploma. Have some resume. Show that you will work. Sow yourself. It's a universal principle. What you put in is exactly what you will get out. The Bible calls it seed time and harvest. God lets us know that everything starts with a seed, a small idea, and it blossoms into bigger and better things. And the more you put in it, the more you're going to get out of it. Now, let me say this, and I don't know how much time I got left, but however, I'm certainly enjoying this. The problem most people have is when you have to sow yourself into any situation, there's nobody there clapping. There's nobody there celebrating you. This is something you got to do all by yourself. I'm quite sure if we talk to any singer, any actor, anybody that is reaping the harvest now, they will tell you about the thousands and thousands of times, hours they had to sow themselves in order to be successful. The reason people don't appreciate your story is because they don't know your story. But I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you.
You're gonna have the time of your life. Come book your getaway. Fly away, feel the breeze on your skin. The sunshine so relaxing. Come on and book your trip right now with Tiff. Caribbean Resort, relax and have a sip. Make your reservation today, sending joy and laughter.
I left off talking about that if we would talk to anybody that is reaping the harvest, or quote unquote, let's call it, they have notoriety, or they have arrived and they're able to achieve the things, then they would probably tell you about the thousands and thousands of hours they had to put into the craft, how many times they were disappointed, but they kept sowing themselves. They kept reaching for the goal. Years ago, a lady came to the church after God had placed us on television and all of the things, and she said that particular time, she said, Pastor Jackson, it looked like you came up overnight. Now, I understood what she was saying, but I told her that I appreciate what she said, but I don't ever want to see another night like that one. Because it was a long time before what she was seeing and what I was going through before it happened, that there were a lot of heartaches and pains. There were a lot of disappointments, but I had to learn the principle of sowing myself. Keep searching, keep striving, keep believing, keep trusting, keep putting yourself in position, and you're going to reach the harvest. Okay, 3 points if we want to do that. Number one, recognize that your potential is in you. What you are going to be is already in you. That's why there's only one of you. Notice if they take fingerprints of people to determine that it's that person, because nobody have the same fingerprints. So whatever is in you is going to take care of you. That's number one. What's in you? That is your God-given ability. So you've got to use that. One man said years ago, many people are born originals, but generally they die copycats. Understand this, you can only be you. You can't be like anybody else. Now I know other people can do things that you can incorporate into what you're doing, but that's not what you were originally born to do. It may help you to better what you're already doing, but you can only be yourself. Number two, you got to understand that what you have, you got to get in position. That's what I'm talking about when I say sow yourself. It is not going to come to you. You got to go to it. And a lot of people are sitting around, they have a dream. And they say, one day, I'm going to be this. I'm going to be this. I'm going to have this successful cosmetic line. Or I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. Or I'm going to have a fleet of cars and all of these things. I can assure you, and this is not even a prophecy, I don't think you're going to have it if you don't get yourself in position. Because you have to get in position for all of those things that happen to you. If you look in the world, people call it timing. Yes, I understand timing, but basically it's a lot of people got themselves in position. And when they got themselves in position, their natural gift took over. So you got to sow yourself in a place so that you can begin to reap the harvest of your gifts. But you got to get in position. Everybody that's watching me now, that should be your buzzword. I got to get myself in position. Lazy people are not successful. Only those that position themselves are successful. So you got to get yourself in position. Now, number three, you got to understand that once you've gotten in position, then you've got to use the power that's in you. Now, what do I mean by the power that's in you or in me? If you don't believe in yourself, it will never be done. Now, I know it's good for other people to believe in you, and of course that helps. But at the end of the day, you got to believe in you. So it's like this. If you're going to bet on anything, bet on yourself. Not that I'm encouraging somebody to go out and bet, but although we know that do happen. But I'm just saying that if I'm going to take a chance with anybody first, I'm going to take a chance with myself. I'm going to believe that I can achieve it. Now, I'm not here to tell you that that's an instant thing. Sometimes you don't even know if you're going to make it. You don't even know if you're going to survive the day. But you have to believe enough to at least give yourself a try. You've got to sow yourself into the position to experience these things. And I have learned, not that I knew that everything was going to work, but I did know that I did believe in myself. And I was going to give it the old-fashioned go and try and do. Because even in the bad situation, it taught me some things that have helped me in other situations. Life is not full of sunny days all of the time, because you'll never appreciate the sunny days if you don't go through some rainy days. So you got to sow yourself. Now, if you get an idea, if you believe in to have a successful business, and I believe it's the time that the world is going to explode with riches. That even as we speak now, there are ideas that are taking place whose time has come. And people are going to experience unlimited wealth like never before. That may be you. Of course, I'm believing it's me. And somebody else is out there saying, I'm believing it's me. Because some ideas you had, they didn't seem to work years ago, because the timing wasn't right. But now the time has come, and you got to sow yourself, and the time has come for that idea. I want to coach you up on today. You got to sow yourself. You got to get up and go. Go should not be your middle name. Go should be your first name, your middle name, and your last name. If you had a name, it should be go, go, go. I close with this story. I've often talked about when I began in the ministry. I was sitting on my bed and I was watching another man preach on television. And I said to myself, I know I'm more gifted than him. And God spoke to me in some very simple terms. He said, Wiley, you got one problem. He's doing it, and you're sitting here on the bed. In other words, God said, I didn't have the goal. I didn't have to sow myself in me. And immediately, I began sowing myself. I can tell you the times I started preaching in downtown at the bus station. I started preaching in projects and prisons and homeless shelter. Anywhere anybody would let me preach, I started doing it. And I had my sermon ready and I was prepared. Little did I know that by sowing myself, it would reap all of this. I often ask people when they say they got a call to do something. I say, well, what are you doing about it? Well, I'm sitting at home waiting. Well, that's a problem. It ain't really a call because they're not willing to sow themselves. Most people want somebody else to sow them, and then they come in and take advantage of it. But it does not work that way. You have got to sow yourself. Now, I trust you're going to accept this challenge on today. This is a time. Millionaires and billionaires are listening to me right now, and they're on their way to sowing themselves to experiencing the riches that God has for them. It's a time we're going to stop talking about just millionaires, but start talking about billionaires. And pretty soon the word trillionaire is going to be thrown around, so we might as well be a part of it. So I want to challenge you today. Sow yourself. I'll be right back to talk to you.
And God knew in my heart that I really meant it. And I came to that point, you all, I realized that I had been created. The scripture lets us know in Romans 6:23, it said, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. I realized then that I needed Christ. At first, I thought I needed a good man. I thought I needed a good job. I thought I needed a house. And I found out that that was not the answer. The answer was Jesus Christ. So when I asked him to come into my life, I changed on the inside. And that's where the change takes place. Telling you this, because for any of you all out there that you are being led to do that, remember that the change takes place on the inside, not the outside. So what I noticed is that I started really enjoying going to Sunday school, going to church, and I had joy unspeakable. I really did. I was just so happy, and I kept on going, and the more I went, the more I learned about the Word of God.
Praise God. I trust that you've been coached up tonight. And God is speaking to you because you're going to sow yourself. I want to sit down and encourage you to make an investment in Action Coaching so that we can continue coaching you every week. Whatever is helping you, you should understand you need to make an investment in it. That's the place where you sow yourself because it's helping you. And I found out that one word can change a person's life. So I certainly want to encourage you to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching. We want to grow bigger and better and do more things to coach you, and we trust that you are going to help us do that. There's a link in my bio where you can sow to Action Coaching. It will give you a host of ways that you can help us here at Action Coaching, and we thank God so much that you are helping us to not only coach you, but coach others. And of course, if you want to write us, you can write us. The P.O. Box 18115, Atlanta, Georgia, and the zip is 30316. We would love to hear from you. And of course, you can connect with us on social media. If you got any questions or you want me to talk about a question you might have in your mind on an Action Coaching session, I would love to hear from you. Thank you for being a part of Action Coaching. Thank you for your support. And I know that God is going to continue to help you sow yourself. As I say each and every week, share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.